Hello and welcome inside my bedroom closet. I'm Lisa, your clinical sexologist, sexuality coach, and erotomologist, and I just jumped on live for a little while just to answer a little Q&A. So thank you guys for coming inside the bedroom closet. Won't keep you long. It's question Q&A Tuesday. So I wasn't able to get on and answer just a couple questions. So I figured I'd do it tonight before I start some other work that I have to do. So thank you guys for joining me inside my bedroom closet. And if you have any questions before we end our live tonight, I'll definitely be able to answer those for you. Don't forget to visit my website at insidemybedroomcloset.com and take a look at all the services there, and it may be something that I can assist you with. But I did want to answer a little few viewer questions, and I have them here. So give me just a second. All right, so I've got my questions here. And the first question, I want to be a little sensitive in answering this question because everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But you did send me a question in reference to your dating habits. And a young lady wrote in and stated that she enjoyed dating married men. And what was my opinion or thought about that? Well, of course, I do think that you can find other choices. There are single men in the world. I'm not sure why you're dating married men as far as a safeguard for not wanting to have a full-blown relationship with someone who's single, such as yourself. So I don't condone dating anyone that's married. That's a sacred vow that husband and wife take, and that is the monogamous relationship, the only monogamous relationship. And people that are dating that are just committed to one another, they're not monogamous. Monogamous means married, and you should stay away from the sanctity of marriage because if you do decide to get married one day, I'm not sure if you would feel as cavalier about someone dating your husband as you are dating someone else's husband. So I think that that's just, totally bad. You can find someone that's single, that meet the criteria that you're looking for. If you don't want to be around somebody all the time, you can always date long distance. And then that way you're able to have that communication and at least get a visit on Christmas, So married men tend to do the string along. So I don't know the reason why you've had several relationships with married men. If they are promising to leave their significant other, tell them to leave first. Yeah, tell them to leave. Put things in order. Put some distance between them and their current partner before you start to date someone that's married. So that's my opinion. You did ask what I thought about that, and that's just what I think. I think that that's totally wrong. And, even people that are committed to one another and have been for quite a few years consider themselves in a relationship with a bond that should not be broken with another. So that's not as bad as dating someone that's married because that's sacred. But if you want to be a person that's approachable to single men, you have to show yourself as a single woman, not someone that's taken. So that's my opinion on that one. I got another question, and it comes from a young lady who says that in talking to her significant other, she found out that she is not great at oral sex. And everybody is not. Sometimes it takes time to get it right. Now, the one thing that we talked about on Sunday was communication. And communication inside the bed should be instructional. So if you found out that you weren't that great at it, next time you take a stab at it, ask him what he likes. Tell him to give you instructions. Tell him if he had to go first, second, and third, what would he recommend that you do? That way, you're apt to please as long as there is, of course, excitement. If you're not excited about doing it, the person on the other end of it can feel that you're not excited. And then you definitely want to have the moisture. They like it wet and all that. But as far as the intensity of it, the way that they like to have it done, you can definitely talk to them about it and ask, what is it that you would like for me to do if you think I'm so bad at it, right? So that's something that you can do. And reverse, so even with ladies, if you find someone that's trying to give you oral and it's not that great, it's like after a few minutes you open your eyes and like, what is going on? Well, give instructions. Let them know what works, and tell them how to do it. And if it's not something that you are familiar with, you may want to try, as I said, masturbating. And that's the number one technique that people use to find out that rhythm that they like in having oral. Okay. So let's see. The next question was a hangover question from a couple of weeks ago. I kind of missed it in my inbox, but someone did ask me about friends with benefits again. And what I thought about that, well, it depends on what the benefit is that you're looking for. And if you're looking for having sex with someone only based on your terms because you are busy or you just don't want to be in a full-blown relationship, you have to make sure feelings don't get involved, because you can't help that if you're having sex with someone emotionally. You have those hormones that's going to increase as you start to have sex with that person. You can get a phone call or a text message and say, hey, let's meet up. That dopamine kicks in, you get excited. After you've had sex with them and it was great and exciting, then that serotonin kicks in. Oxytocin kind of creeps up. You may want to lay with them a little bit longer than what you would have initially, So feelings start to creep in. Now, one other hormone is vasopressin. And that's a hormone that can go a little bit, like that. Because what if that person that you want to be in the benefits relationship with start eyeing somebody that he wants to be in a relationship with? So vasopressin is that hormone that may allow you to get a little jealous. You may want to be a little territorial. You may get a little defensive and figure out, why didn't they pick you, right? So be careful when you are in a friends with benefits situation, because if the benefit is sexual, you don't want to catch feelings. Now, if it's a friends with benefits and you are doing other things and finances are involved because you're able to get a help with going out to eat or bills that you want to have paid, and this person wants to help you out that way, and you spend company and time with them, and that's not something that you feel like is bad, then do it. So people have different reasons for being in relationships with benefits. So that's definitely my take on that. But let me take a look and see if you guys have any questions for me before I continue, because I know that sometimes we have our own opinion of things, and mine is an opinion. So what you choose to do going forward is totally up to you, but I definitely appreciate your questions. So, hey guys, welcome to Inside My Bedroom Closet. All right, so men want feedback. Yep. Tell them what they need to do and they will do it. And that's exactly true. Men like to know. And when I said communication inside the bedroom, it could be as little, not like, well, is say my name, or is it yours, or is it good, or do you like that? Questions like that. Yeah, they like it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you're in the moment. But ask or give instructions, tell me how you want it. Is that the spot? Do you want me to stay right there? Or where is the spot? Or where you want me to go next? Or, just be instructional. And in that way, each party gets satisfied, because men want to satisfy women. Women wants to satisfy women. Men want to satisfy men. People want to be satisfied when they're in sexual relationships with one another. So the only way you can do that is through communication. And communication is the start of everything. So if you guys start off asking some great questions when you're dating, then some of these answers will be a little bit simpler when you do decide to be a little bit more romantically involved. So yeah, I do agree that if you give instructions and give hints, then men will follow. Hello, thank you guys for joining me inside my bedroom closet. I'm just answering a few questions tonight, and some of them are a little repetitive, and I know that some people miss the live and they miss when I do answer certain questions, so there's no problem with you asking the same question again. So I did get a question in reference to squirting or expelling fluid vaginally, and that comes from the Skene's gland when you're having a G-spot orgasm, and that's really the back door of the clitoris. So usually going up in there and hitting that angled spot, sometimes with a wand, and they make the angled wands with those balls on the end and things of that nature, that makes it a little bit easier to massage that area, and it excites the G-spot orgasm. Now, a lot of women are afraid to go through with it because it feels like you may want to urinate. Well, that's true because it's so close to the urethral gland, which is where you urinate from. Excuse me. So not going through with it completely, then you stop yourself from having it. But those who are able to do that can have a vaginal orgasm immediately after it, or simultaneously if you have different toys that you're using, things of that nature. So people can expel fluid, and it is squirting. Now, you ask if there's urine in it. If it is, it's just a small degree because it comes from the Skene's glands. It's mostly the water buildup in our bodies, but there is a slight degree that may shoot out with it, right? So, yeah, but it's mostly water, but you want to enjoy the pleasure of it. If that's something that you think that you may want to try, then that's definitely what that is. Okay. So with my next question is about anal. And I haven't really done a live or a tutorial on anal. Quite a few people have been asking me to do that, and I will. Of course, I cannot put up any type of visuals until I do the master classes, and then I'll be able to do that with the webinars. But as far as anal, there is an A spot about 1 inch or 2 inches within the anus, and that's called the A spot because it excites orgasms in males as well as females. And you can massage that area with butt plugs, or they have anal beads, or they have dildos and things of that nature if you want to explore those possibilities. But there are, for women, several orgasmic spots. Once again, they're clitoral, G-spot, vaginal, or the A spot in the anus. And with men, it's the penis, which gives you the pleasure, and then the A spot in the anus. So there's several different ways of going about having anal sex. Most people that want to try it may not really understand fully how to do it. That's why I will do a class, or I'll do a live on just that, so I can give you a little bit more detail, because it's more to it than just going, straight in. So I want to talk to you more about it in detail, but it does excite orgasm. So that was a great question. I also had a question about queefing, which is a term that people use for the vaginal air that you hear expelled from a woman when you're having sex. Now, it usually comes from the in and out stroking position, where you hear the air sounds like gas, sounds like a fart, vaginal fart, right? So it sounds like that. But you get that from that long stroke position where you're in the moisture, and it sounds different just based on the position that you're in. So that's what that term means. Someone did ask me, and I didn't answer that one for you. But those were some great questions. I know if you have a question, I can definitely answer that for you. I did post my badges for you to let you know that I am a master sexpert as well as a clinical sexologist, and I'm an erotologist as well. So I've done a lot of studying and got some studying to do just so that I can make sure that I answer your questions for you professionally. So it looks like someone else has a question. Let's see. Why do you think a woman that has a man at home mess with multiple men outside the home? Well, she's not being satisfied in several ways because emotionally women have to feel fulfilled. Now, if he was doing extremely everything that he possibly could, and I have been coaching couples where financially there's no problem. You know, bills are paid, luxury vacations, cars, and it's like this in the bedroom, you know, because there's certain things that our body craves for, and it may not be something that we can open our partner up to because we don't know how they may respond to that. So if there's a woman that has multiple partners outside of the home and she has a man in the home, something ain't doing it. I mean, you're not getting it to the point where she feels like, you know, you're satisfying her sexually, whether it's a mental satisfaction that takes you to the bed, or once you get to the bed, doesn't last very long. It's not maybe the size that they want. They don't get the pressure that they want. They don't get the kink that they want. They don't get the variety that they want. So there could be basically a lot of different reasons, but the number one reason that most women leave outside the home is an emotional connection or a strong sexual connection that's been missing. Yeah, and that's pretty sad because the person that's inside the home, all it takes is a little communication. You could tell him you like your toe sucked, and trust me, he'll do that for you. So hopefully he'll do that for you. So like I said, if you're not talking about it and this is something that you have to take outside the home, there could be a lot of different repercussions that you could bring back inside the home. So you want to be careful with that one. So, yeah. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see. How to please your wife. She has cletera, and hopefully she's been to the physician to have that taken, looked at or diagnosed so that you'll know how to please your wife, because sometimes it doesn't take that physical touch for pleasure. Sometimes it takes non-sexual intimacy in order for them to feel a little bit more comfortable in the event that they want to try any type of vaginal entry. But yeah, it's something that you both have to talk about and find out if it's other things that may satisfy. So talking to somebody about any type of physical condition that may cause them pain is not something that they easily bypass in order for intimacy. Sometimes people feel like the pain keeps them from being intimate, but when there's two partners involved in the relationship, you want to make sure that both partners are satisfied sexually. And if you can't do that through intercourse, there are non-sexual things that you can do. Oops, sorry, I moved that around. So yeah, there's some non-intimate sexual things that you can do in order to ignite intimacy. So thank you guys so much for joining me inside the closet. I appreciate everybody coming in. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna have to jump off soon in order to do some studying tonight. So let's see, I'm just scrolling up to see if you guys have any other questions. Let me know where you're from. I've done a lot of traveling based on the jobs that I've had, and I like to know where the viewers are from. I'm doing some traveling within the next couple of weeks, so I'll let you know exactly where I'll be. But thank you so much for joining me inside my bedroom closet with questions on a Tuesday. My girlfriend doesn't like analysis. What do I do? What type of analysis? I mean, are you asking questions or are you analyzing? a situation, because that's totally different. When you're analyzing a situation, you're trying to dissect it apart more so than talking about the situation and trying to work through it. That's two different things. So, what are you trying to diagnose? And if you are, what do you consider analyzing? What type of questions are you asking to make them feel like you're trying to analyze a situation? And when that is the approach, some people get defensive. They back off, they shut down, they don't want to answer because they feel like you're trying to analyze it, right? You're trying to go through an analysis, whereas you're really just trying to communicate and ask questions for satisfaction. And sometimes we go about it the wrong way. It's just start with tell me, and that's not analyzing. When you ask someone to say, well, tell me, what you think about our last encounter. Was it good for you? What did you like about it? Because those are some of the things I want to try again. Make them feel comfortable that this is something that you're doing for their pleasure, and it's something that you want to do again in order for them to experience the pleasure. Because when you put yourself second and you put the woman first, then that makes her feel a little bit more relaxed and having an orgasm more so than just having intercourse. And you're trying to get to yours, and you're putting in all the positions that it take for you to get yours. What about the positions that she like or may like, or thought about that it would take for her to get hers? Because we did talk about that coital alignment technique. And so that's something that we've talked about in the closet, and it's a derivative of the missionary position that ignites orgasm for women. So yeah, so it just depends on what type of questions that you're asking. Alberta, Canada. Have not been to Canada. You've trumped me. Well, you know what? I went to Detroit, and we went over the border that way. We didn't really go into Canada, but yeah, I went to Detroit and I saw it from the other side. So did that, but haven't really been there. From Trinidad, I would love to go to Trinidad. Oh, that seems like an awesome place. I have a classmate that's from Trinidad, Maryland. I've been to Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. Love Maryland. Love the weather. It's right there. When I was working in D.C., used to go to Maryland quite a bit. Not analysis, the other thing. Not sure. Not sure. Okay, let me go back and think about what the first part was. If my boyfriend is asking for a threesome, I'm not, what can I do? Well, if that's not something that you're comfortable with, definitely don't do it, because threesomes can ruin a relationship. Now, it can make them feel good because what, they want two women in the bedroom? Okay, well, ask him if you can have two men in the bedroom. How would he feel about that? Would he be as comfortable seeing another man with you as you would see another woman with him? Sometimes men get off into that fantasy because that's a lot of porn and that's a lot of the visual that they see, but that's not. And some of them make sure that that's on their list of things to do before they get married. I've heard that too. But if you're not into it, express the reasons why you're not into it and don't do it. If you really enjoy this guy, you really want to be with him, why would he want to see another man or another woman in the bedroom? Because what, the woman is just for his pleasure? Does he want to see the woman with you? Do he want to see you two together? So what is his, reason for wanting to do that? But yeah, I've seen it take a lot of relationships left, whereas afterwards you don't trust as much as you did before, because it could slip off to the dip that was in the room with you and get it on his own, and that's not what you want to do. And if he's not answering the phone and not coming home like he should, your mind begins to wonder. Don't put yourself through that pressure. Don't put yourself through that challenge, So, yeah, I would say have the conversation, tell him it's not something that you want to do, and definitely let it go at that. I got to think about what the first thing was. The anal. If it was anal, let me know. The oral, giving a woman oral, or if it was the oral for the man. So if it was Analyzing one of those three. Let me know if I hit it on the head. Let's see. I'm new here. Okay, well, if you're new, welcome to Inside My Bedroom Closet, New York transplant in San Francisco. I love San Francisco. I like eating down there at the wharf. I think that's what it's called, the Pier of the Wharf in San Francisco. Have quite a few friends that live in San Francisco and went to the winery down in that area. So yeah, I love that. Been in New York several times. Had to work in New York for quite a few years with a job that I had. So been in New York quite a few times. Oregon. I love Oregon. I've been to Oregon more times than I can remember. Been to Seattle over a dozen times. Love Seattle. When I was in Seattle, we would go to British Columbia, and then we would go to ride the Harleys to Oregon. And I just remember that the trees are so magnificently tall, and they were just so green and just unbelievable. And seeing the log cabins on the side of the highway on the way to Oregon. Love going to Oregon. So, yeah, enjoyed that. Yeah. It's a big blend, but too expensive. Yeah, definitely. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me inside my bedroom closet, Atlanta, Georgia. Love Atlanta, Georgia. That's one of my favorite places to go. Got some friends down in Atlanta, do some historical things down in Atlanta. I know one of the other sexologists is in Atlanta. We are trying to get something together where we can all convene maybe in Atlanta, and it'll be a whole lot of sexologists there. And I'll definitely let you know if we're able to pop that one off. So that should be a whole lot of fun. But yep, love Atlanta. Been there quite a few times. Jersey. Yep, my friend lived in New Jersey, and what is that college where they do all that rowing? Went to that college because I had to listen to a speech. I can't remember. How is it? I can't remember the name of the college. But the one thing about New Jersey that I found out is I'm not sure how they do these U-turns or whatever they do. You have to drive down to the street and then make a turn or something. I don't know. It was very difficult driving for me. That was very, very difficult. Rutgers, yeah, that's what it was. So went to Rutgers University. I had a colleague that was speaking there, so I went there for a speech, and we were in New Jersey. So yeah, I remember that. Let's see. It was a question that I may have missed up there. These glasses stay filthy. Are you a therapist? I don't to sound dumb. No, no one sounds dumb. That's why I get on TikTok, because I went to school for it. I wanted to know exactly what it is in relationship to sex, love, and relationships, and the nature of humanity and love and all that stuff. So I wanted to study it for people who wanted to ask questions to someone personally, more so than getting questions off the Googler, because you don't know Google. They may not answer your question the way you want to. I'm not a therapist. I am a sexuality coach, as well as clinical sexologist, and I'm a life coach as well. So with all that combined, I guess you can say that I do some types of therapy. In my past jobs that I've always had, I was a sales manager, coach, developer, trainer type of person. So I've always done the same type of thing where I enhance the life of others by pulling out the best that's in them. And I believe that when you live your best sexual life, then the rest of everything looks brighter. Everything else becomes second nature. You're not as ill as you may have been before you fell in love. And if you're having great sex, you may not have thought that the bills were so surmountable that they overcame you when you were in love and having great sex. And then sometimes mentally, you rise to a different level, and you're able to enhance a different part of you when you are in love and you're having great sex. So that's my reason for being inside the bedroom closet and coming to you guys live. I like the 15-second, the 1 minute, and the 3 minute, but nothing beats the fact that I get to sit here with you guys inside my bedroom closet and talk about sex. So whatever question that you have, hopefully I'll be able to answer that for you in a professional manner where you will come back and see me. But in relationship to the one that was talking about the analysis, if you're analyzing the way that she's performing oral sex on you, that could be a turnoff. If you are analyzing the way that she's trying to do certain things in the bedroom, that could be a turnoff. And it's a way to approach it, so you have to let me know if I'm on the right track. If it's the oral, give me a thumbs up or something, and then I can answer that for you. If you go to my website, I have all the definitions. Excuse me, had the hiccups. If you go to my website, I have all the definitions there for you for a clinical sexologist, sexuality coach, and erotologist. And it lists the fact that I have studied all aspects of sex, love, and relationships as is relative to sexual health, and making sure that everyone mentally and physically have the best sexual health possible. And that includes your diet. That includes a wide variety of things. So it depends on if you had to put a pin in it to say if this is something that's important to me in order for me to have the best sexual health, what would that be? And if you're not able to reach that point, that's me. That's what I help you do. So I try to generalize as much as I can when I'm on TikTok, because I don't want to pinpoint anyone out and their any type of frustrations that they may be having sexually. So I try to generalize as much as possible. But if you go to the website, InsideMyBedroomCloset.com, if you like to book a session, Zoom inside my bedroom closet, anything of that nature, it's there for you. So definitely head on over there and take a look. With the right partner, the fire will spark. And that's definitely true. And let me emphasize what the right partner is. The right partner is the right partner for you. Not the right partner that your friends or your family members think that you should be with. The right partner that innately makes you a better person. Sparks the interest of knowledge in you, and you want to learn more from that person. A person that fulfills you in a way that doesn't complete you, because you're a complete person. You're just getting somebody to couple with you in order to enhance and brighten your atmosphere and horizon and surroundings and your journeys and your adventures and different things like that. Because the more those things are tapped into, the more we, for who they are, and they can fall in love with us for who we are. So that's, you're right. The right person will definitely ignite that spark. And as I talked about before, our hormones is what tells everything about us. And dopamine is that first initial hormone that gets you all excited, and your palms sweat and your little coochie get a little moist, or you might just have to rearrange your pants, and with your hands in your pocket, guys. Sometimes you feel that rush of excitement without even being around that person, and that lets you know that you're onto something, because they can tap into who you are to make you feel good about yourself. So let's see, what time is it, guys? Because it's about 8:30, so I have another 15 minutes or so that we can discuss some things. If it's any questions that you have for me, I'll definitely be able to answer those. I'm just looking to see if I have any more questions that I did not answer. Can you go over the mind and body that you discussed on the last live? I joined late. Well, what I said on that live was, and thank you for asking, because that's one of my favorite things to talk about, because the coupling of the mind and the heart, because I believe that the question that day was, which one do you think is stronger? The mind, which controls everything. The mind controls your sexual desires. It controls the way that you think, your movement, your sensories. It controls everything, right? So the mind is huge, and it plays a vital part in everything that we do. But when it comes to love, the heart, I believe, is stronger than the mind. And the reason why I say that is because when you love someone, it has been known that we can forgive people for some of the things that they do, the way they make us feel, the things that they may have said to us, because the way our heart feels. Now, in our minds, we know that that's not the right thing to do. That hurt my feelings. This is, not good. But our heart say, well, I love this person. They do this for me. And it could be that sexual connection that just, make you just like, oh, but then outside the bed, it could be a little toxic. But mentally, you know that, but in your heart, you dismiss that. So let me know what you think. If you think that the mind rules the heart, or does the heart rule the mind when it comes to somebody that you really love? Because you know that there's certain people that people didn't think that we should be with because they were bad influences or whatever. Maybe you had the bad guy image and somebody said, oh, that's not your type, you shouldn't be with that person. But in your heart, you know that that person gave you a rush. May not have been bad for you. It might have been a bad idea for them, but that person gave you a rush, and it made you feel open and alive and free, and your heart was just all beating fast for this person, but don't know. So you guys let me know what you think. And that was basically what I mentioned in reference to the heart and the mind. So let's see if there are any other questions. I see some comments there. First intelligent, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to come across as intelligent and professional. But if I slip and say a little something, let me know. I will not use profanity. I try not to use words that will get me thrown off the ticker. So I know that you guys are mature enough that you can read in between the lines when I say a little something. So you can ask me any question. I don't feel like any subject is taboo. Taboo to me means not enough knowledge, enough to absorb it, understand it, and expel it where others will understand it. So to me, that's what taboo. And I try to dispel all taboos, cultural norms, myths as it's relative to sex. One funny one, and I guess it wasn't funny because he really did ask the question, and I was on a podcast yesterday. That's the reason why I couldn't get on TikTok live. Podcast ran a little over, but doing a Q&A on the podcast, someone did ask me if it was true that a man could determine if a woman had been with another man, because if you've been with a woman for so long, your penis is kind of shaped to her vagina. And I don't know if I'm wording that correctly, but the answer is no. There is no way that anybody can determine what size penis has been in your vagina. When women have had whole human lives come out of their vagina by giving birth, there's no way that you could have told after 6 weeks that a baby came out of there. So there's no way you can tell what size penis has been inside a woman's vagina. And that's the reason why a lot of people stop checking to see if that hymen was broken. That hymen was that mucus that was covering that vaginal area, and they say if it was broken, it could tell that you've had sex. Well, you can break that with your finger. You can be on a bicycle. You could be, sitting on your foot, how you sit Indian style or something. But so you really can't tell that. And he was extremely serious about the question. The other people laughed, but in all reality, no question is a bad question if you don't know the answer. And because I'm a sexologist, I try to give you the best answers possible. So let's see what people say about the heart. I think the heart, yep, the heart conquers. The heart is very powerful when you are in love. All kinds of stuff goes on in your heart. It beats a little faster sometimes. And when you're in love and your heart is broken, how about that, right? You cannot eat. You can barely sleep. Your mind wanders. You can't think straight. All kinds of physical things. People can physically get sick, when they're in love and their heart is broken. So the heart is so powerful when you're falling in love and when you're falling out of love. Your mind has no control over it. You can say, well, I don't want to know. And that was some advice that I took for a lot of years. When breakups, you just stop wanting to know. And eventually you'll stop wanting to know when you break up at your mind. You can't stop your mind from thinking. You can say, well, I'm not going to think that. But you do. So, yeah, your mind cannot control your heart when it comes to falling in and falling out of love. Is it a problem to be excited for your lady all the time? Not at all. No. Be excited about her. Cherish that queen. Let her know that. And I know a couple. This man treats this woman just exquisitely. And I just love to see their love. And she giggles and she laughs and she's happy all the time. He drives a truck and he'll stop and he'll go. She doesn't have to work. She just worked because she wanted to get out of the house. So she got a job, started working, and he would drive out to her job, have lunch with her inside the job, or either have it waiting for her, and they would eat lunch outside or drive to a park or sit by a tree and talk midday to find out what's going on. And they just have a wonderful relationship. So if you get excited by just the thought of her, the way she dressed, the way she moves, the way she smells, and you let her know that, and she will love you for letting her know that, and you'll feel it, because when a woman loves you, you can really feel it. I mean, just like, R. Kelly said, when a woman's fed up, you can feel it too. So yeah, if you love your queen and you cherish her, I say go for it. She's a very lucky woman to know that she has a partner that feels that way about her, and you should be excited about wanting to touch her, be around her. I honestly cannot separate heart love from my mind. It's all connected. Well, it is connected in a sense, but if your mind is telling you one thing about this person, it could be the slightest thing about this person, and you take it out of your mind. You dismiss it because your heart really likes this person. I mean, this person could be drop dead fine, smell good all the time, always looking good, but I mean, because he's so fine, he could be a ladies' man, or he could be this, or he could be that, and you dismiss that because he wants me, he loves me, he's with me. But you can't dismiss the fact that he doesn't look good just for you, and before he met you, he was looking good. And so your mind, you have to learn how to separate it, because if you don't, when your heart is broken and your mind is still connected to the fact that your heart loves this person, it won't see the fact that your heart is broken, if that makes sense. Because there have been very toxic relationships and people have gotten back together. Now, the one thing that they missed was the connection that they shared. So their mind went back to the fact that they shared this special connection. And then their bodies got together and that became familiar and it became comfortable. You know how you get some comfortable D in your life? That was some comfortable whatever. So it gets comfortable and you want to get back with that person where it's comfortable. But you forgot about the reason why it was toxic, because that went totally out of your mind, because your heart missed that person. So learn to differentiate between the two, because at one point or another in your life, your heart and your mind would have to separate if you've ever been in a relationship that didn't work out. And that's when it separates. When the two are married together and it feels great, when your heart and your mind are on the same page and you have no questions about the way that you feel, then that's a wonderful thing, So yeah, that's what I think. It's just my thought. So yeah, that's it. All right, so let's see. Did I miss some questions before I let you guys go? ED and a 70-year-old comment. Yeah. And it could be common just based on your diet and how you've lived your life up until 70. It can come in the form of if you've drank alcohol or if you're a smoker or something like that, because those are restrictors. And a restrictor is anything that restricts the blood flow. What do you need for an erection? You need blood flow. So you have to make sure that you are strengthening your pelvic floor, and that's making sure that you can do what they call dick ups. And that's when you have an erection and you're moving it up and down and up and down, and you can control it and strengthen your pelvic floor that way. You may want to get your prostate checked, because when you're not having an erection, you want to make sure that your prostate is healthy. At 70, you can definitely curtail and focus on your diet in order to strengthen it before you go to the pills and things of that nature, because you know when you have an erection for so long after taking some of these over-the-counter drugs or the stuff that they sell at the gas station, you want to make sure that it doesn't mess with your heart, and things of that nature. So you want to be careful. But talk to your doctor about it. You can use a pump, which is a little loud. It works. You can use a water-based pump, or you can use other types of pump. You can, Google those. But try to focus on, first of all, your diet, and don't know what you've done up to 70 that may have restricted the blood flow, but that's basically the reason why you're having a problem with erectile dysfunction, is because there's no blood flow, and you need that. You need to make sure that there's blood flow there. Yep. Yep. Sometimes you have to give people space, and space works for different reasons. Sometimes you want to make sure that you guys are on the same accord, and that's the reason for space. But if you are in a relationship and you're looking to take it to the next level, if you get married, how can you give space? You could take separate vacations. You can what? What else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be together and work through it. So what is the space about? The space is because the communication wasn't strong enough to resolve it. And sometimes we have conflict and we don't resolve it, and conflict resolution is key. And how you do it is even more of a benefit, because you don't want to lay blame. You don't want to point the finger. You don't want to hit below the belt. You don't want to say words that are irretrievable, because you can't take some stuff back. You just can't. No matter how sorry you are, you say you're sorry, you're not really sorry, because it was only in your mind. You had to think it in order for your mouth to say it. And what? It slipped and it fell upon your ears. And now that it fell upon your ears, I'm sorry, because it hurt your feelings? Well, we'll see. A lot of people, most women feel by emotion. Probably a great deal of women feel by emotion, based on how we feel. A lot of things happen, especially sexually. If you're not in the mood, no matter whether you thought you were, something could have turned you off before the mood even happened. You're going through with it, but feeling and emotion isn't there, nothing's going to happen. So it's hard for us to remove our feelings from the picture. I'm a woman just like you are. I have a heart just like you do. I love and want to be loved and all that other good stuff too. But it's hard to separate the two. It's not as easy as we think. I'll take a couple more questions before I let you go. Let's see. Yep. It's almost been an hour. Let's see. My mind is mad for this man. He chose me. No, he's a natural man. We don't shower after sex. Okay. My mind is mad for this man. That's great. He chose me, which is even better, because that means you guys are mad for one another. No, he's a natural man, and we don't shower after sex. Well, sometimes people like to marinate in their juices. If you want to put it that way. Some people don't like to shower, especially if you're having sex, you're in the bed, and because of that serotonin, and you want oxytocin, and you want to cuddle a little bit longer, you might fall asleep in each other's arms, and you may not shower. Some people like the scent of their partner on them, you know, especially if it's that natural body scent. They want the scent of their partner on them. So that's common, that's natural, that's normal. Some people do that. It's not bad. Um, I mean, let her go to the store to do female stuff on her own. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, people, of course, are of a consenting age to do things on their own. Um, and I'm not sure what that comment meant. Maybe I missed one that was before that one. Because I can't choose divorce twice, so I know I can't pick. Thank you, smart lady. Well, being divorced twice and not being able to differentiate between your heart and your mind could have been part of the problem. Um, you have to learn how to separate the two. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get married a third time because nobody can say the reasons why it didn't work out the first or second time. So don't pass judgment on yourself and don't be hard on yourself because there's someone for everyone, and someone that you may have met could have been married twice before and you accepted them for who they were and the things that may have happened in their past. And the past is the past. You know, sometimes we can get too involved in someone else's past where you miss out on what could be a potential future for yourself. Be with a person long enough to make a conscious decision as to whether this is somebody you want to be with or not. Whether you've been affected by someone you've been in a relationship that cares for you immensely and do everything for you financially, and the sexual relationship isn't there, you gotta make the decision to move away from that, because finances, economics, that's going to be in every relationship that you go to. So you can't hold on to a relationship for that and dismiss out on the important parts of your life. Or vice versa. The sex could be just incredible. It could be mind blowing. It could take you to another dimension. It could drive you up the wall, literally drive you up the wall, right? But then everything else is shot. You know, so does your mind say, well, dang, oh, Lord, what am I going to do with this? And when they get home, you stop thinking about that because the sex is great. So it can go both ways, but you just have to make a conscious decision to be in a relationship that's fulfilling for you. But thank you so much for joining in with being very open and candid. I appreciate that. Okay, so you're a single mom, intercultural, not interracial. And and let me just say this, if you had your children while you were married, don't put yourself as just a single mom. You're a divorced mom. You were married before. I'm a divorced mother. I'm single now because it's been quite a few years, plan on, making some changes. But until that happens, if you're a younger woman and, and you have children, who's to say that someone wouldn't want you with children or the ages of the children? I know certain people shy away from dating when they have daughters and they are teenagers and they're forming, and you don't want to bring other adults in the house over them and have sexual relationships. I get that for respect reasons. Not a problem. But you do want to make sure that you are dating healthy if you do have children that are involved, because sometimes our children can get attached to our significant other, and then when we're unattached to them, then what happens? The kid kind of loses out, right? And that's not fair. So be careful. I'm 60. Well, I'm 62. I'll be 60 in January. 60 is a great age. It allows you to live again, because at 60, you're almost at the age of retirement, where you've worked, or if you've had to work for some years, and you know what it is that you want to do with the rest of your life and the type of person that you want to be with. At 60, you should know what type of sex you enjoy. At 60, you know what type of relationship you want to be in and what it is that your heart wants. But as I mentioned before, if you don't differentiate your heart and your mind, then you won't make some great decisions for yourself that you should. So you have to think about the person that you would think And don't let your heart just get all involved because you're 60 and you might want to, just move the clock a little bit faster. No, take your time. Find out about a person, because at 60, if you do decide to get married again the third time, should be the charm for you. But I've kept you guys for almost an hour tonight. I have definitely enjoyed my time on TikTok. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'll be 60 in January, but age means nothing, because if you are living your best life, and that is making sure that you have a healthy mind, body, and spirit in order to share that with someone else. But until next time, and it may be tomorrow, because I did do the Magical Kitty Cat with the Goddess Shop, and she wants to come on with me tomorrow, and she's going to talk about some of the other products that she have for vaginal health, different little spa things that she's got available on her site that you may be interested in, because you want to make sure that your vaginal area stays healthy too. But thank you guys so much for joining me here inside my bedroom closet. Once again, my name is Lisa, and you can catch me on the ticker usually every day. But if you have any questions for me, you can leave me a message on my website. Once again, that's InsideMyBedroomCloset.com. And until next time, I'll see you guys, and thank you so much for joining me. Have a good night.